It happened at a small caravan site off First Avenue in Eastchurch on the island's northern cliffs. The two women were on a holiday, and that night, as they often did, they had stayed up late into the early hours, long after everyone else had gone to bed. It was somewhere around 2 or 3 in the morning when it came. A sound so loud and so violent that it seemed to shake the night. The unmistakable, sickening noise of a serious crash, metal and glass, very close by. They said afterwards it was one of the most terrifying sounds they had ever heard. At first they sat frozen, then they pulled on their clothes and went out into the dark to see if they could help. Between the caravan site and Plough Road ran a rough, overgrown path, thick with bushes on either side, that led down toward the eroded cliffs and the beach. The road ran alongside it, just beyond the bushes. As they made their way onto the path, they could see through the tangle of branches the flashing blue lights of emergency vehicles gathered on the road. They could hear men moving about and talking to one another in the low, urgent way that people do at the scene of something terrible. The women stayed there in the dark, hidden by the bushes, watching and listening, and at one point, quite clearly, they heard one of the men, a fireman, say that he had found a finger. Whatever had happened out there on Plough Road, it had been bad. After a while, shaken, the two women made their way back to the caravan. The next morning they walked round to Plough Road to see it for themselves. They expected to find the aftermath of the night before, the skid marks, the shattered glass, the gouges in the tarmac, the debris that a bad crash always leaves behind. But there was nothing, not a single sign that anything had happened there at all. The road was clean and quiet and ordinary, as if the night had never been. Puzzled, they went and knocked on the door of a nearby house and asked the people there about the accident, and the people looked at them blankly. There had been no accident. They had heard nothing in the night, no crash, no sirens, no voices, nothing at all. For years afterward, the story stayed with them, impossible to explain and impossible to forget. And much later, when the internet made such things possible, someone tried to find a record of it, any report of a serious or fatal crash at that spot on Plough Road on that night in the 1970s. There was nothing to be found. No news report, no record, no trace. Whatever the two women heard that night, as far as the world is concerned, never happened. Now, if this were the only story of its kind, we might set it aside as a trick of the dark or a dream half remembered. But it is not. Stories like this are told all over Britain, and they even have a name: the phantom crash or the ghostly reenactment. People hear or see a violent accident, the screech, the impact, the lights, sometimes so vividly that they call the emergency services. And when help arrives, there is nothing there. No car, no wreckage, no injured driver, just an empty road. The most famous case of all happened on the A3 in Surrey in December 2002, and it is genuinely difficult to explain away. One winter night, several drivers called the police to report a car that had veered off the road with its headlights blazing and crashed into the trees. Officers rushed to the scene, but they could find no crashed car, no skid marks, no broken branches, nothing. And then, searching the undergrowth a little further along, they found a car. A maroon Vauxhall, nose down in a ditch, hidden from the road and overgrown. But this was no fresh crash. The car, and the body of its driver still inside, had been lying there undiscovered for 5 long months. The phantom crash that so many people reported that night had led the police straight to a man who had been missing since the summer. The police, of course, called it coincidence. Others were not so sure. So what is really happening in these cases? Some believe in what is sometimes called a residual haunting. The idea that a moment of terror and violence can somehow be imprinted onto a place, like a recording, and replayed years later to whoever happens to be there to witness it. Others speak of a slip in time, a strange folding of past and present, where for a few moments a person hears an event that happened long ago, or perhaps one that is yet to come. And some, of course, say it is nothing more than imagination, coincidence, and the tricks that a dark and lonely night can play on the mind. But that does not quite settle the matter, because two women, on a quiet holiday on the Isle of Sheppey, heard a crash so real and so violent that they got dressed and went out into the night to help. They saw the lights, they heard the voices, they heard a man say he had found a finger, and the next morning there was nothing there, and there never had been. No one has ever been able to explain what they heard on Plough Road that night, and no one ever will.